Tonight on Business Live, businesses and individuals advised to start making adjustments and plans as ECG prepares to release a load shedding timetable following moves by independent power producers to cut power supply.
Get ready your, standby generators filled, and so you can rely on that. Also, you can also plan your processing arrangements if you're a factory.
Also in this bulletin, banking consultant Nana Utue-Champon describes Bank of Ghana's decision to suspend Forex licenses of Fidelity Bank and First National Bank as far-reaching.
Once there has not been a change and it's still 10-1, then we could leave it there. So clarity has been made. That means the punishment, in my opinion, is far-reaching.
Plus, the long-awaited Phase 2 of government's agri flagship program, that's Planting for Food and Jobs program, will be launched next week. We'll hear from Deputy Agri Minister.
The coming week or so, we are going to officially launch the PFJ Phase 2.
We have details of these and many others lined up for you. Please stay. Thanks so much for staying on. I am Pius Kojobaka. To our very first story, individuals and businesses are being urged to brace themselves for a planned load shedding exercise as independent power producers prepares to cut power supply to the ECG beginning Saturday, July 1 over debt owed them. The IPPs had earlier informed government about their intention to cut power supply to ECG if it fails to pay 30% of the about 2 billion cedis debt owed them by July 1. It is, however, unclear what government's line of action would be in ensuring a reliable and stable power supply as the deadline approaches. However, speaking to Joy Business on the development, Executive Director of the Institute for Energy Security, Nana Amoisi VII, said businesses have no option than to make adjustments and plan ahead before ECG comes up with a load shedding timetable.
Well, outages are not alien to businesses in Ghana. It happens once in a while, and most of them are backups when it comes to power generation. We expect them to get a backup ready and also to ensure that their generators are filled to the brim in terms of fuel, because we're getting also the indication of fuel shortages in town because of these tanker drivers refusing to work for reason of bad roads. And so get ready your, standby generators filled, and so you can rely on that. Also, you can also plan your processing arrangements if you're a factory, so to make sure that you follow the load shedding timetable if ECG is forced to put at 1. What is supposed to happen, or what can happen, is what we are seeing now. The IPPs, all of them, have issued a zero nomination to GRICO, the transmitter. That's what has happened, declaring unavailability by Saturday. What will happen again is government can forestall this between now and close of Friday, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Government can avert this, we believe so.
Moving on to some other stories, banking consultant Nana Utue-Champon has indicated that the Bank of Ghana's decision to suspend the Forex licenses of Fidelity Bank and First National Bank will have far-reaching implications on the two banks. The two banks were suspended for failing to strictly adhere to the applicable Forex market regulations and guidelines. Nana Utue-Champon spoke earlier on the marketplace.
I've explained that it's something that I think shouldn't have happened, but they assume, as I said, that, for instance, they are supposed to update your file every 30 minutes. And their understanding was that the update should happen if there is a change, because every 30 minutes you have to update. And as I said, if the exchange rate is 10-1 at 12 noon, at 12:30, if it's still 10-1, you need to change according to the rule. But they erroneously felt that once there has not been a change and it still tends to one, then you could leave it there. So clarity has been made. I mean, the punishment, in my opinion, is far-reaching. But they have to get partner banks to operate those, because it means they cannot, operate those forex issues. Everything has got to be done by another licensed bank. Well, then both of them may be in negotiations with their partner banks to handle that on a temporary basis. But my hope is that it won't last as much as 30 days, and that it will be short-circuited. There are other developments which we can discuss now, maybe in another conversation we can discuss. But for now, that is what has happened.
Now, despite the volatile economic situation in Ghana coupled with the domestic debt exchange program, Enterprise Group has declared a first and final dividend of 0.0744 pesos per share for the year 2022. The company also announced a profit after tax of 222 million cedis in 2022 compared to 122 million cedis in 2021. Speaking at the annual general meeting of the company, Group CEO of Enterprise Group, Daniel Labi Teku, said the company will continue to post good performance. Here is more. According to Enterprise Group, amidst the economic challenges, it still achieved a net income of 1,602 million cedis, boosted by stronger results in life, general insurance and pension businesses. The company declared profit after tax of 222 million cedis in 2022 compared to 122 million cedis in 2021, with net cash generated from operating activities improving by 4.53%. To this end, the company at its annual general meeting declared a dividend of 0.0744 pesos per share for the year 2022. Daniel Labi Teku is the Group CEO of Enterprise Group.
The dividend declared this year is a reflection of the challenges that the whole economy, went through in 2022. On the back of the debt exchange program, we were able to still declare the dividend that we declared today. The assurance is that if we continue in the trajectory that we have seen or we saw in the past years, certainly there's going to be an improvement. In our dividend history is quite rich, so certainly next year we can sustain a better dividend for our shareholders.
He added that the company remains cautiously optimistic about the prospects for growth, however will leverage on innovation to execute the vision for the company for 2023.
Innovation is okay in modern day businesses, so that is what we are seeking to leverage on, and therefore we have even set up an innovation center which is looking at on daily basis new ways of doing business. So innovation is going to be very key in our business going forward.
Meanwhile, the group delivered an increase in its total assets by 11.98% from 2,163.32 million cedis in 2021 to 2,422.39 million cedis in 2022, despite the impairment of its investment assets by 328.85 million cedis. One of our headline stories and phase 2 of government's agri flagship program, that's the Planting for Food and Jobs, will be launched next week. According to Deputy Agric Minister Yao Frimpong Ado, the second chapter will focus on upscaling production of 11 crops and livestock as input credit. Here is more.
The Planting for Food and Jobs program was implemented in 2017 to modernize the agric sector, improve food security, create jobs, and reduce poverty. In May 2023, subsidy on fertilizer and seeds under the program was suspended. Speaking at the KFW Agra Phase 1 Project Learning event, Deputy Agric Minister Yao Frimpong Ado revealed that the PFJ Chapter 2 will be launched soon with some adjustments.
Let me emphasize that this project also coincided with government's flagship program, the Planting for Food and Jobs, which had in focus agricultural development as the indispensable engine for growth and development of the entire country. The ministry looks forward to a development of a phase 2 of this project with lessons learned from the phase 1 to form the basis and each partner is playing its role to ensure the full attainment of the project objectives. And I wish to add that in the coming week or so, we are going to officially launch the PFJ Phase 2. The PFJ Chapter 2, as it has been christened, is going to ensure that we accelerate production of our 11 selected crops and poultry.
KfW, the German Development Bank, through its Phase 1 project, which is supervised by AGRA, has invested 3.5 million euros in the past 4 years. Bashiru Musa is program officer at AGRA.
In the scheme of things, so far as the two projects are concerned, KfW invested almost about 3.5 million euros in the two consortia, within a span of 4 years to look at project implementation at the grassroots level. Now, the first one, which we call the Public-Private Partnership for Competitive and Inclusive Rice Value Chain, happened between 2018 and 2023, and the status is that it's currently closed. The second part is the Ghana Cassava Industrialization Partnership Project, which was also implemented just around the same time.
Program manager for KfW Ghana Mission, Ata Ejapon, explained the importance of the project to his outfit.
Why are we involved in this project? And our desire at that time was to focus on how we address causes of structural hunger and food insecurity. And what do I mean? Food insecurity, hidden hunger, malnutrition, among others. And again, also make sure that we promote rural development to create opportunities to escape poverty. And then also support systems that enhances sustainable production and consumption, financing, and also preserving the environment.
The KfW Agra Phase 1 projects run from 2018 to 2022.
Now, the United States government, through the U.S. Agency for International Development and the United Nations World Food Programme, is embarking on a one-year program to provide vital support to farmers during the lean season in Ghana. Valued at $7 million, the newly launched farmer support activity aims to bolster food security. There is more in the following report.
The farmer support activity looks to cushion and build the capacity of farmers, especially those in the northern parts of Ghana. A total of 17,000 farming households in 17 districts in the northern, northeast, upper east, and upper west regions will receive 3,500 cedis each. Kimberly Rosen is mission director at USAID.
To ensure accessibility and convenience, small-scale farmers will directly receive the cash transfers into their mobile money accounts. This method allows them to easily access the funds in an efficient manner. The cash transfers provided through this program serve as a flexible tool that the farmers can utilize to address their most urgent needs. This flexibility empowers farmers to invest in their farms, purchase necessary inputs, cover labor costs, or attend to other important requirements. It is important to note that this program is part of our broader commitment to support Ghana's agricultural sector.
Through a multi-sectoral initiative that includes the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the National Identification Authority, and MTN, the World Food Programme has identified, targeted, and registered vulnerable smallholder farmers. According to WFP representative and country director Barbara Clemens, this is to ensure that these farmers do not compromise on quality and quantity.
This, especially going into this lean season, seeks to identify them, assist them so that they are not consuming some of their inputs or making negative coping choices in terms of I'll cultivate less land or I'll buy less food for my household. We want to make sure that we're there when the assistance is needed and is given to the right person so that they can increase their productivity. And that really is the point of this.
Deputy Agric Minister Yao Frimpong Adu urged the farmers to be prudent with their investment.
There are several other households
who were not lucky to have been part of this program. So those of you who have been selected, I will call the lucky ones. You need to prove to the donors, our development partners, that this money is not for your pocket or your purse or your wallet. It is for productivity. And just as they said, you observe the strong team here. The M&E team is so strong with financial, those people with financial background, they are going to monitor you from penny to penny. And if you don't account for it, you may be in trouble. We cannot shield you because we want you to use the money to deliver what you have to deliver.
The farmer support activity will run till March 2024.
You're still watching Business Live. Time for a breather.